操行者系于三寸之坎，救国万人之身。社会主义建设者的接班人，既要有高尚品德，又要有真才实学。
To dig a well, you begin with a shallow pit, and eventually you get a deep one. That saying comes from Liu Zi, Chong Xue, a book written more than 1,500 years ago. And today, it is still used to encourage young people to achieve big goals through perseverance and hard work. That works for a person as well as a country. In 2015, the Chinese government made a promise that by 2020, China would eliminate absolute poverty. For starters, the poor need better education. Knowledge and skills would empower the poor families and enlighten the poor children. It is like digging a well. And today, I will go with my friend Kirk to visit a school in Yan'an in northwest China to see how education has made a difference here.
你猜他多大？54。They said you're 54. 他很高兴，你们说他这么年轻，他60了。Very good.
Okay, let's meet in the library. Oh, Kirk, what a day. We're visiting the school for a whole day. What do you feel about the school?
There's so many children in school here in China compared to the schools that I'm used to in Canada. A lot of shining and happy faces, that's for sure.
But you know, this school has a very humble beginning. It started as a school in a little cave with just one teacher, and now it's this. Because this is located in the west of China, not so developed area, it got a lot of help from elsewhere. For example, the internet classroom we just visited, they got teachers helping from the East Coast. That seems to be the way that China has been adopting to help the schools in the remote areas.
You know, and I didn't expect to see that here, internet teaching. It's, you know, having highly trained teachers teach kids in schools that may not have access to those highly professional teachers. And I think that the teachers can learn from what they're being taught online here.
And about this saying, when you want to have a well, you have to make a dent first, and then eventually you have a deep well. You have similar expressions in other cultures?
Well, you know, every long journey starts with a single step, and I think that's true with anything that you do in life. Well, and I think that's where this saying comes in. You know, you've got to start somewhere. Take that first step.
And first step is important because China has a huge campaign to alleviate poverty. And the first step they think it is appropriate is education. And here is a good example. Have you heard of education so that we can have poverty relief?
Well, you see, education is a backbone of poverty alleviation. With good education, these children have the opportunity to go from good education to good employment. They're making more money, their lives are better, and when they have children, you know that they're going to be spending some of that hard-earned money that they've made on their children's education. It's a cycle. If that cycle is poverty, well, then they're never going to have a chance to better their communities, their families. If that cycle turns into prosperity through education and better employment, then the prosperity cycle will start.
Yeah, and obviously poverty is a global problem. If people living elsewhere in the world should take away anything from the Chinese practice by lifting people out of poverty through education, what would that be?
Invest in your children. And China's actually a good example. If you invest in your children like China has done, you've got better education, you've got better healthcare, and the infrastructure is getting better. You've got all of these things are growing. And the rest of the world is watching and saying, well, how's China doing that? And sooner or later, they're going to figure out it's because their education. In 1993, they put just under 90 billion yen into education. So between 2.5% and 3% of their GDP. In 2020, they put over 5 trillion yen into education. So you can see the difference with that investment in their children, in education of the people of their country. They've made their country a better, more prosperous place to thrive.
Thank you very much, Kirk. 周老师，您看到这个学校的变化是什么样的呀？
日新月异的这个变化，从2层现在变成4层，然后后边又修建了这个综合楼，整个的这个设施设备都是焕然一新。咱们这个区上市上都特别重视这个小学这个教育。
杨老师，当年他这个小学是什么样的状况？
当年只有8孔窑洞7间平房，然后到了1995年，时任福州市委书记的习近平倡导切家企业建切校，然后迁址修建了我们现在的这所学校。我就是杨江里小学毕业的，看到这个母校有这么大翻天覆地的变化，我心里由衷的感谢。相信孩子们能在这样的环境中，他们会更加的努力学习。
扶贫必扶志，让贫困地区的孩子接受良好教育，是扶贫开发的重要任务，也是阻断贫困代际传递的重要途径。